So Mahatma Prabhu, because we have a little bit of time, and then we're going to go till no later than 1, give him an extra half hour or so. Make sure he gets in as much as he can, although we have no. Facing our challenges, taming the male ego, that could be like at least a 1 year seminar, right? Every day, 8 hours a day you can spend. So we just have a couple hours, we're looking forward to that. At 1 o'clock, we'll have a little wrap up, goodbyes, final announcements, and then Prashadam is at 1:30 at the feast, and as Krishna said this morning, we're still taking Prashad together in the community hall. So Bhagavat Ashraya Prabhu needs a new badge, otherwise he can't eat. This still says butter.
Yeah.
That person's dead and gone.
Hare Krishna, I just wanted to say yesterday after the initiation, I didn't have time to, well, it said that the initiation is not complete until the disciple gathers the Guru Dakshina, but I have to run for drama practice. So if you'd like to give something to Mahatma Prabhu, you can give it to you. Oh, okay, to me, yeah. And share that. And, to support all of the amazing preaching that Mahatma Prabhu is doing all over the world. Thank you.
Okay, so brief introduction. Mahatma Prabhu, known to many, has authored many books over here. Inspiration for all of the t-shirts. If you bought a t-shirt, this is the same Mahatma Prabhu. And you spoke to us 2 years ago, or was it last year?
It had to be 2 years. Last year I was...
Yeah, last year you had your health crisis. So 2 years ago, Mahatma was here. So we're very much looking forward to having him come again. He's been, as he mentioned earlier to us, he's been a member of ISKCON since the early 1970s. Originally San Diego?
I joined in Berkeley.
Berkeley, okay.
Going to school there.
Well, he spent many years in San Diego, and he travels around. He is one of the ISKCON's initiating gurus. So not only a 6-year guru when he gives instruction, but also initiates many disciples around the world. Travels quite extensively. He's also a member of the Sabha, which is that group of senior devotees who review GBC resolutions, and they vote, and it goes back to the GBC for reconsideration if they have some questions about it. And he's also a member, he and I are both on the Group Services Committee, which is not as much fun as it sounds like. We deal with a lot of problems, too many problems, but we're also trying to be more proactive in some of that too. So let's give Mahatma Prabhu a nice big round of applause.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Krishna Shunyavari Krishna Disitani Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhave Vacha Pratikhanam Bhavanidyo Vaishnavya Mukam Karati Vachalam Panganam Gayate Yim Yakrapatamam Bande Sri Guru Dinatani. So many years ago, I developed a course on humility, not, and people might say, well, who do you think you are? You know, like your humility acharya. No, you develop courses because you want to develop the quality, because I wanted to become humble, because I know I didn't even understand what humility was, or is. So I developed a course. And so when they asked me what I wanted to do, I thought, well, I should base it somewhat on that course because I know the material. But the course doesn't deal specifically with male ego, so I thought, you know, it would be easy to just set this up, but 20 hours later, it was, the male ego is very specific. And so what I realized at the onset was that the male ego is pretty antagonistic to pure bhakti, to the ego of pure bhakti. You just go down, and so is the female. But so what I did was, I juxtaposed it to the qualities of the female. So these are generalizations, but males tend to be more one way, females another way. So it's just like, okay, you know I'm like that, but I don't really think about it, and now you're going to think about it. So what I did was I basically described 5 qualities dominant of the male ego, and then for each quality we have a section, and in that section We describe what it is, what the problem is. We see what Prabhupada said about it, and that also means you could cite some examples. We see what Prabhupada did to set the example, and after each section, we have some questions which you're going to share as partners. So you're probably going to be talking more than I am. And that's the way I prefer to teach. And the most valuable part of this workshop is the time you spend with your partner. We're not going to find partners yet because I'm assuming more people will come and then it's going to throw things off. So, are you ready?
Yes.
To face your male ego?
No.
There's a door there. I've given classes on humility where people, some exercises were so difficult, people walked out and said, I can't do this. Because you have to face yourself. Great is that man who doesn't run from his own reflection. So, you're going to get to look at your reflection, but I think you'll appreciate it. I think a lot is going to come out of this that hopefully will make a dent somewhere in your consciousness. Okay, so what is false ego? Just so we're on the same page, it's a very basic definition. False ego is identification of the self as the body or mind, rather than identifying as the soul. This includes identifying anything related to oneself as mind or an extension of one's false ego. Any definition of the self other than I am a particle of consciousness who is a servant of God is a false identity. I am, fill in the blank, man, woman, this age, computer programmer, sannyasi, brahmachari, anything other than I am a servant of Krishna is false ego, right? And then anything related to that is false ego. So I say here, a particle of consciousness, that's called in Sanskrit chit kana. And in English that means you're a piece of chit. So turn to the person next to you and tell them, Prabhu, you're a piece of chit.
You're a piece of shit.
Chinmayananda means full of chit, so you're also full of chit. Turn to the person next to you and tell them you're full of chit.
I don't want to go this way.
Unfortunately, I don't have those t-shirts. We did print them. We have a website. We did print them, but can't print them all. Yeah. So, false identity, I am blank, other than servant, and this naturally includes thinking that I am the enjoyer, controller, and doer. Let's look at some quotes with Srila Prabhupada further describing the nature of false ego. Factually, save and except the Lord, no one can be called the enjoyer, but the living entity falsely desires to become the enjoyer. This is the origin of false ego. I mean, if we're just honest with ourselves, pretty much the position of the conditioned soul is everything they see, they think how they can enjoy it. And if they can't enjoy it, they just want nothing to do with it. So attraction and repulsion. That is as far away from Krishna as you can get. And that is the cause of false ego. We know. I want to be the enjoyer. Krishna says, fine. If you don't have the identity of false ego, how could you enjoy? If you remember I'm spirit soul, then you can't enjoy it because you know you're a servant. Right? Just when you're about to enjoy something, if somebody comes to you and says, hey, Prabhu, you know you're a servant of Krishna. Don't bother me. Trying to enjoy it. Right? So Krishna makes it easy. I'm not going to bother you. I give you a false ego. You'll forget who you are. You'll think you're an enjoyer. And here you go. Have fun. Let me know how it goes. Call me up when you need me. In the transcendental state, the living being is pure in his consciousness. And as such, he has no false ego to lord it over the material nature. From the status of pure consciousness, the false ego is born because of misuse of independence. We're not going to get into where the jivas are falling from, but they're definitely falling. From the status of pure consciousness, the false ego is born because of misuse of independence. So, false ego is why we're here. False ego is the basic principle for all material activities which are executed in the modes of material nature, as I was saying. So here's a very good point. This is not from Prabhupada. It's a point I make. We do not come to Krishna consciousness to expand our false ego. We come to Krishna consciousness to deflate our false ego. If you have come to ISKCON to get a position or gain power, then this is not the movement for you. We come only to serve. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says sometimes when you come with bhakti, the opposite of what should happen happens. You become honored and you become proud. And you enjoyed an upward mobility and all of that. So, let us remember, we come here to do what? Serve. And deflate the false ego, not expand, not pump it up. So now we'll just talk a little bit about humility, because that's what deflates the false ego. The complete path of Bhakti Yoga is based upon the process of becoming humble and submissive. That's a pretty heavy statement, isn't it? Let's say it together. If we all say it, it has more Shakti. The complete path of Bhakti Yoga is based upon the process of becoming humble and submissive. So one who feels humble and meek has the door for the kingdom of God open for him or her. Let's say it together. So one who feels humble and meek has the door for the kingdom of God open for him or her. Okay. The word ego is commonly used to describe someone with an inflated sense of self-importance. That's the common usage. It's not exactly how we use it in ISKCON, but commonly used. By male ego, I mean specific manifestations of the false ego more common to men than women. So some of these qualities you might go, well, my wife's a bit like that. Yeah, but you're probably more like that. Generally. I mean, it's possible. You could be less that. You could be more spiritually advanced. So these are, as I said, generalizations, general tendencies. As we will see, these traits are antithetical to the nature of pure devotees. So here they are. 5 traits. Well, here's the 5 ones I'm dealing with. Wants, needs, respect, and recognition. Competitive. Difficulty being vulnerable. Defensive. Tying self-worth to achievement and status. So, we're getting ready. Now we're going to deal with each one. Are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
We'll see. We'll see who runs it. Lock the door. Lock the windows. So this is the first one. Number 1, desire for recognition and respect. A core driver of the male ego is the need to feel respected, capable, and valued by others. This can lead to a drive for success in various areas of life in order to gain others' respect or to achieve a respectable position. Although all human beings desire some respect, women tend to desire love, affection, and emotional connection more than they desire respect. It doesn't mean they don't want to be respected, but love and affection is more important. To put it simply, women like to be adored and men like to be admired. So they did a survey and they asked men, what do you want from your wife? Love or respect? They said, love, it's not that important, but respect is very important. So the male ego. And Prabhupada dealt with this a little bit by encouraging us and sometimes praising us. And if you're married, you know what it's like when your wife criticizes you. You know what that's like. It's like one of the it's one of the most painful things, isn't it? And when she praises you, it's like, yeah, that's why I married you. Pretty much. But it's like the whole world could praise you, but if your wife doesn't praise you, it's like, her praise is worth a lot, isn't it? Her love, do you want your wife hanging on to you, kissing you? Just praise. Go kiss your kids. Praise. isn't it? Pretty much. Okay. What did Prabhupada say about the need for recognition? Although a Vaishnava is the most exalted person, he is prideless and gives all respect to everyone, knowing everyone to be the resting place of Krishna. Should I let you digest that for a second? According to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's instruction, a devotee should never be puffed up by material power. He should know that material power is the result of one's past good activities, karma, and is consequently transient. At any moment, all one's material opulence can be finished. Therefore, a devotee is never proud of such opulence. He is always humble and meek, considering himself lower than a piece of straw. Because of this, the devotees are eligible to return home back to Godhead. So it's definitely in our theology, there's a lot. It's basically taking us to this point that if we're looking for honor, it's just a very deeply rooted form of sense gratification. Appreciation is a little different. I want to know devotees are happy. I want to know my guru is happy. It's a little different. But honor, Prabhupada says, is a form of sense gratification, in a very deeply rooted form, and a very high level. Because once you have billions of dollars, what do you want after that? You want your name on buildings and on streets. And you want something named after you. So, it's pretty deep. So, the closest, I have a little picture in the humility workshop, is a picture of a devotee at Krishna's feet bowing down right next to Krishna, and there's a picture of a devotee in the distance. And the caption is, the closest place to Krishna is humility, and the furthest place from Krishna is pride. And the devotee's in the back like this. Like that picture. He's far away from Krishna. The closest place to Krishna is humility. Isn't that interesting? This is a natural characteristic of those advanced in devotional service. They do not personally speak of their own good qualities. Have you ever done that? Like, caught yourself boasting? And you're like, why did I need to say that? Why did I need to tell people that? I could have, like you were introduced, Gopal. You could have said more about yourself, but you didn't. Because it's the nature of a Vaishnava, just to be embarrassed. You're saying anything about me. But, I could tell you more about myself, but Maharaj can tell you more about himself. It's not our nature to do that. We're having a kirtan. I could do that. I could do it just as well. Maybe I could do it better. That's the nature of devotees. They don't want it. How are you doing, Prabhupada? Great. I just saw the president. I got some award. I don't say anything. That's a Vaishnava. Yeah, everything's good. Yeah, I heard you got some award. Yeah. Something, I don't know. You'll see amongst advanced devotees, they always put it down, isn't it? You're doing so much service. Oh, what am I doing? Good enough. You're doing. Okay, this one's very heavy. Can you handle something heavy? Are you real men? We're going to see how many of you guys cry after you read this one. May we be ever ready to sweep away from our hearts by the rough application of hundreds of pointed broomsticks the wicked design, basically means an evil desire, of desiring to be honored above other persons by the devotees of the God. In other words, making a plan that I will be honored by devotees. Designing, this is a wicked design. God will be merciful to us, and we shall be blessed by the gift of devotion to his divine feet, the very day that we are delivered from the evil desire of seeking advantages and honors from others. This is so heavy because Srila Bhaktisiddhanta is saying the desire to seek advantages and honors is an evil desire. You know what the word evil means, right? So what examples of being respectful and not wanting respected, Prabhupada said? Here's some that I thought of. When Nandan Prabhu said to Prabhupada, "You must be higher than the Paramhamsa stage," Prabhupada said, or Srila Prabhupada replied, "No, I am lower than you. I am the lowest of all creatures. I am simply trying to execute the order of my spiritual master." So we saw with Prabhupada, he never showed any need to be respected unless it was in relation to his disciples, and them not respecting them was bad for them, but it wasn't because he needed that person. And so when you're thinking about this quality, sometimes you may want to be respected because it will be good for a younger devotee to do that, but it's not because you need it for your ego. There's a difference. And you may want to be appreciated because you want to know, well, did my guru like what I did? And so, he says, that's very good. Okay, I know I should continue doing it. So that's a little different. On behalf of Krishna, I am accepting your sincere service. But on the whole, I am a servant of the servant of Krishna. Therefore, I may be in designation your spiritual master. But actually, I am servant of the servant of Krishna. And because you are all sincere servants of Krishna, I am your servant. This is the Jagat Guru speaking. It's a beautiful saying by Bhaktisiddhanta. This is like, it's really, I'll just tell you. He said, no matter how much opulence a pure devotee gets, no matter how many followers they have, no matter the whole world's given to him, it cannot budge him from the realization that I am a servant of the servant of Krishna. There's nothing in the world that can budge him from the realization that I'm servant of Krishna. Have you ever done something really well and thought you were something other than a servant of the servant of the servant? Like that? You ever felt like that? Well, I'm pretty good. I'm pretty smart. Yeah. Yeah, we've all done it. Like go into any situation, here, Krishna says, here, take these 10,000 disciples, and they're going, they're the best thing I've ever seen. And you're completely unaffected at all. It's like it doesn't budge you. No, I'm just a servant of the servant. So that's what we see here with Prabhupada. Isn't that beautiful? Nothing can budge you from your realization. Doesn't matter. Okay. Whenever giving credit, whenever praise, Prabhupada would give credit to his spiritual master. He did. Okay, I have a funny story. I made a CD many years ago, Brahma Samhita. It was kind of an accident. It was just for fun, but it became popular, especially in Delhi. They had a gift shop in Delhi, and they'd play it outside the gift shop like 24/7 for years. One of my godbrothers said, "You're famous in Delhi." And I said, "Really? Why?" He said, they play your Brahma Samhita outside the gift shop. And I was like, I wanted to relish it. Cool, I'm famous in Delhi. Wait till I go to the temple there and walk around. Little sign, I'm the one who sings Brahma Samhita. So he's telling me this, and my mind's going through this, but I can't enjoy it because I'm a devotee. I'm not supposed to enjoy it. But I want to be a rock and roll star. Now's my chance. So, whenever anybody's given credit, it's like, no, you can't enjoy that. That's boga, is to offer your guru. You have to see it like boga because I can't take the glory. So that's a Vaishnava. So, okay, before we do this exercise, I want to make sure everyone has a partner, so you can choose the person next to you, or you can get up and choose somebody. But everyone's going to need a partner, so we're going to do sharing amongst two people, and there's only time for two people to share. So if there's three of you, one of you is not going to be able to share. So partners just means two. So it's nice if you don't know the person, but don't gravitate towards who you know. You get to know somebody. So find a partner, determine who that is, and sit next to them so you can talk. Some of you already famous. Sitting. Yeah. If you can't find a partner, raise your hand and we'll find one for you. Okay. you're going to do, I'll tell you.
We're doing good.
Other times I say, find a partner, you start doing the exercise. And I haven't told you to do it. Does anyone not have a partner? Raise your hand. Okay. So, we're going to do an exercise. It's just questions. And you're going to discuss these questions, the answers to these questions with your partner. And, you know, it's there for discussion here. You can get help. If you want to write down anything to remember, that's fine. And there's no, you're not grading yourself. This is just for your reflection on everything we've done. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Got to keep my weight. Okay, here are the questions.
Okay.
If you can't see, you might have to come up. And also, if you're having trouble while you're doing the exercise, some question comes up. I will be here. Just wake me up. I might be asleep from that breakfast. And a lot of times when we do these exercises, there's some confusion. What do you mean by the question? And so forth. So I'll be here to help you. On a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being always respectful of others and never desiring disrespect, and 1 being always disrespectful of others and always desiring respect, give yourself a grade. This is for you. It's not, you don't even have to tell your partner. You can. But here the next question is, why you gave yourself this score. This is what you're going to discuss. What do you do to get respect? Who specifically do you need to impress, if anyone? What you can do to improve, what obstacles you will face in attempting to improve, and how can you deal with these obstacles? These are questions I'm giving you. You could have other questions. It's a general idea to reflect on your own level of need for respect, which is an unhealthy need. There may be healthy needs for respect. That's different. But
What do you do?
what do you, typo, what do you do to get respect? Like, do you ever just like, Prabhu, can I lead the kirtan? Can I give the class? Is that because you want people to know you're a good kirtan, good class? Maybe. It's possible. This is for you to be honest with yourself. Yes?
What if they think they have different scores for being respectful and desiring respect?
Okay, you can give yourself 2 scores. 1 on being respectful and 1 on desiring respect. Okay, that's a good point. Okay. Is there any questions on this? It's just to play with this idea, like, where do I stand with respect? And you think about it when you're ready and start discussing. So you got to give half the time to your partner. So one of you can go first and deal with these 5 questions, and then one of you will go.
There you go. Perfect.
Around the time that I think we should change, I will tell you. You may have already changed, but just to keep aware of the time. Sometimes I let people go and I say, okay, we're finished. And you're like, oh, I'm still on the first person. So as you talk, you're going to think. And as you think, things will come up that you didn't think of. And so I will check in with you. Like 8-10 minutes, I'll check in. See how you're doing. Yeah, well, first I'll check and see how far you like. So one of you is going to be A, one of you is going to be B. So A, you can go first, whoever that is. And then you can go through your list. It'll make it cleaner time-wise.
A, B, C, 3 people in one circle.
2 people. Can only be 2 people in one group.
Is there an odd number? Is there an odd number? Is there somebody left with the other partner?
Does anybody not have a partner? Everybody has. Right here. You guys are on, right? So we have all right, just one to my partner. No, it has to be 2. All right.
I think I'm